preppers. I'm going to be talking about how to hit somebody with a stick, in this case a short stick, how to hit somebody with a short stick for self-defense. Now, you have a lot of options when you train with a short stick. I want to show you just a couple before we get started with the actual training. This is a fan, this is a martial arts kung fu fighting fan, and it seems like a really silly option to start with, but I want to get it out of the way because this is a good example of what I'm talking about when I say you have a lot of options when learning how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense, because sticks are everywhere. Now, this is the kung fu fighting fan, and it seems like a fantasy weapon or a weapon you'd see in a martial arts movie or a martial arts cartoon. However, it's not. It was a self-defense tool, a weapon that people would carry for a long time before the advent of gunpowder and those types of weapons. But you could carry a fan, and it's not just to fan yourself, but to strike with, to jab, to thrust using the back end, coming down over the top. And if somebody had a weapon, like a bladed weapon, like a knife, you still have something that usually is a little bit longer, but more importantly, you can strike and break bones with the fighting fan, or you can thrust into the face as they're coming at you. And it's a better option than trying to defeat a bladed weapon with your hand. You don't want to try to grab the blade or defend that way. Good morning, Awkward the cat. So that's the first thing I want you to see, is that you have a lot of options. Now, it might not be your style to carry a kung fu fighting fan, but some people, they like it. They like to learn how to use it because it's interesting, it's different, it's unique, and it disguises itself very well. If you want to learn how to hit somebody with a short stick for self-defense, the fighting fan is something you can carry, which in no way looks like a weapon, right? It's the least weapon looking thing there is until you close it and you squeeze it tightly, and then you can strike, slashing, jabbing, coming in over the top, and multiply the force of the strength of your strikes, the force of the strength of your arm, by concentrating it right there, either on this tip, coming into the temple, into the neck, into the eyes, the nose, or the long end coming in here. You can shift it around, and you can strike in all these different ways. So I wanted you to see that, yes, this is a legitimate self-defense tool when learning how to fight with a short stick. Now, a short stick could also be, and we're going to talk about one more, what I call improvised self-defense tool. One more improvised short stick that you would hit somebody with, and then we're going to talk about the techniques I want you to practice when learning how to hit somebody with a stick. In this case, the short stick for self-defense. It's very powerful, it's very simple, it's very easy for anyone to pick up a stick. It's one of the oldest weapons known to man. Stick, rock, club. After hands, feet, teeth, right? Hands, feet, teeth, your body comes first. The second level of self-defense. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, MSW011. Stick, rock, club. My three favorite weapons. You can learn how to pick up a rock, get very accurate, throwing right hand, left hand. Learn how to fight with a club. Oldest stick, or oldest fighting tools known to man is the stick. Smashing somebody for self-defense. And people seem to still be stuck in this idea. Am I allowed to carry it here? Am I allowed to carry it there? And I had a lot of questions specifically about New York City recently. Can I carry that in New York City, NYC? And there's no question why that's the number one question I'm getting right now. It's because violence in New York City is up 74%. It's violent crimes, and there's a revolving door policy that the liberal lawmakers have enacted, and it's just a consequence of something that's been happening for a while. Now you get violent criminals attacking innocent people. There was a man just yesterday, 73 years old. He was in the liquor store or the local bodega, and another guy comes up and says, "Hey, give me your wallet. You got money? I need money. Give me your money." And the guy said, "No, go get a job. Go do something. There's plenty of money for you out there." Anyway, he said no. He left, and then minutes later, on the street, the guy comes up, knocks him to the ground, breaks the bone in his face, gives him a concussion, and while he has his drink in his other hand, he's still drinking, cigarette sticking out of his mouth, trying to pull the guy's wallet off of him. And then they find him. I mean, it's just, and that guy will go to jail for 5 minutes, and then he'll be out and he'll do it again. And so the number one reason why people are asking me, can you carry a stick for self-defense in New York City? What happens? What would the police think if you've got this? And I would say to the police officer, as soon as you change these laws and you can protect me, I won't need to carry this, or whatever it is that you're carrying for self-protection if you're in one of those liberal cities. So stop worrying about, will you be breaking the law? You're the law-abiding citizen. They're letting the criminal out over and over again, and it's open season on you. So pick something up and stop worrying about what other people will think if you have something for self-defense. And at the same time, the greatest thing about learning how to fight with a stick is that you can improvise a stick. You can find sticks anywhere. I showed you the number one of the favorites of most people, the Kung Fu Fighting Fan. And it's because it sounds cool, and there's all kinds of Kung Fu stuff you can do with it. But more importantly, it's a self-defense tool. It's very effective. Jab that in someone's eye, that's gonna work. The second tool that I want you to see is a magazine. And any kind of magazine, catalog works, even a rolled up newspaper. I couldn't find one. We were out yesterday. I told my kids, I said, I'm gonna make one, a self-defense video for preppers. We're gonna be talking about the self-defense fighting stick, the short stick, how to hit somebody with a short stick for self-defense. And I said, we've gotta get some of the magazines we normally get. We get a surfing magazine locally, but they were all out. There were a lot of tourists in town at spring break. There were no surfing magazines, probably because they have pretty pictures in them. So I'm gonna use this. I asked my son, this is his coloring book. We got this from the Navy SEAL Museum. Can I use your special force? Of course, Dad, teach him. So you take the magazine, right? It doesn't have to be a coloring book. It can be any kind of book. It should be about this thin. Catalogs are great. And you roll it up. You could be at a restaurant and they have those, especially in cities like this, they have all those real estate catalogs everywhere. Get a real estate catalog of the things that are for sale. And then you roll it as tightly as you can, and then you hold it as tightly as you can in one hand, and now you have a stick. It's not exactly the same length, but if they have a bladed weapon like this, it's better that you have something like this than try to take it away with your hands. I'm not saying you're gonna be parrying and blocking. You're not gonna be using your magazine to fight against the knife. He's gonna pull that knife out, and you're gonna stick that right in his throat. You're gonna stick it in his temple. You're gonna thrust it this way. You're gonna go into his solar plexus. You're gonna come here, and then here into his neck. You're gonna strike him on top of the head and stick it into his stomach viciously, violently. Close with and destroy. If you see something like this, you have to respond immediately. No time to hesitate. So this is another improvised stick that you can find. It doesn't have to be a Kung Fu Fighting Fan. Oh, I'm about to knock it off. It can be Special Forces coloring book or any other magazine that you can find, but sticks are everywhere. I make this a daily practice with my kids. First thing we do when we sit down in a restaurant with our back to the wall, looking at the people who are coming in so that we have situational awareness, I ask them, where are the exits? We identify the exits. Okay, if we have to get separated, here's where we're gonna meet. So we do that as a daily practice. We make it habitual. It's our daily practice when we go anywhere. We always talk when we get out of the car. If we get separated, here's where you're gonna meet me. I'm gonna come find you. We're gonna be over here. If you need to get some help from somebody else, here's what you look for. And then I say, let's look around and see what we could find for self-defense. What could we pick up and throw with accuracy? If somebody came in and we had no other option, but it's hide, fight, or flee, right? Hide, run, or fight. Run if you can, run, hide, fight, that's it. Run if you can, always get out of there. Hide if you can't run, but if they're right on top of you and no matter what they've got, you have to fight back. We have to break out of this idea that we're just gonna wait for someone to come and save us. You have to be your own first responder. You have to be your own personal protection detail, especially for your family. If you're with your family, you have to be your own bodyguard. And fighting with a stick, how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense, is a perfect way to train this size stick. And this is about, I think it's about 16 inches. I cut two. I cut an 18-inch one and the 16. The other one was bigger, so this must be the 16. I haven't measured it. It's been a while since I've done this. But I want to see, you wanted you to see this. This is about the same size, a little bit. This is a 14-inch fighting fan, so that makes sense, right? About 2 more inches. Trying not to knock that down. So let's talk about how you're going to use it. I'm gonna back up so you can see the mirror a little bit. You can see a little bit what my feet do. Feet are very important because when you step in, anytime you strike, you create a lot more power. I'm gonna roll this guy in. We're gonna make him our street thug, punk, the revolving door criminal. Hello, D, it's good to see you. Now, the first thing I wanna show you is a new technique for a lot of you which is a roll of the wrist. I'm gonna show you that you can twist your hand out, right? Just turning your hand out. That's a nice, hard, effective strike because it's coming very quickly. It's distracting, especially if they're bigger, if they're stronger. Good morning, Robert. Robert's in Reno. If you're snapping like this, that's very effective, right? That hits pretty hard. And when you turn the wrist as you do it, and this comes from Irish stick fighting. When we learn how to fight with a shillelagh, you turn that hand as you're coming. I don't know if you can hear when something goes up in pitch. When it's a higher pitch, it means it's hitting harder. That's a nice thud sound. Hopefully you can hear it. It goes a little bit higher. I can feel it. It's hitting faster and it's hitting stronger. So when you turn the wrist, that's going to give you more power and strength in your strike. So this is the first strike I want you to practice. You can just practice that here. And notice that you have your stick in front of you. You're fighting behind your short stick. You want to learn how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense? Practice this turning of the wrist. Make that snap. Now notice that I have this much of the stick on the bottom. I'm going to use that to come straight in, right into the bridge of his nose. You want to literally, if you can, separate the nose from his face. There'll be a big hole in there, but you're going to at least pull it down a little bit. As you snap that down, smashing straight in, coming down, this part hitting right there on the bridge of his nose. So you're going to snap him in the temple and smash in for self-defense. 1, 2. What you're doing is you're leveraging what you have naturally. You don't have to be stronger. You don't have to be younger. You don't have to be faster. This becomes a faster move. And then this is a short, quick move. You're stepping at the same time that you do it. And because you're using the stick, and again, works with any stick. It works with that rolled up magazine or that rolled up comic or cartoon book, coloring book. But that's going against that soft tissue of his face. There's only cartilage and skin there. You're going to smash that in. At the least, you're going to water his eyes, make it hard for him to breathe through his nose. You're taking away his ability to breathe temporarily, his ability to see you temporarily. From here, coming straight in. Then from there, I want you to bring it straight down on the top of his head. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3. Using this part here, you can maybe hear it a little bit. It's my hard head. This is a piece of oak. I'm bringing this down on the top of his head. This comes from the do-it-yourself store, the hardware store. They come in 36-inch lengths. You can make 3 or 4 of these, throw one in the car, throw one in the bag. And then when the policeman stops you and says, why are you carrying it? Like he's not stopping the guy that's shoving the guy in his, he is. Police officers are trying to do their job. It's the liberal DA that's stopping them. It's the judges that are stopping them. I'm not beating up on the law enforcement. They're doing the best they can. That's why you have to learn how to protect yourself because they can't do it alone. They need our help. They need your help. Anyway, when someone asks you, what is that for? Make up a lie. You don't have to tell them, I'm carrying this because you can't protect me because of the laws that are hamstringing you and handcuffing you from doing your job. You say, it's a drumstick. Have you ever seen the taiko, the Japanese drumming? Or you can say, I use it to roll out my muscles. It's a muscle relieving stick. It's for muscle adhesions. People do it for that, right? I don't care what it is. I have this because I have a project at the house and I have a table, the little table in the coffee table that sits next to the chair where I watch my TV at night. Has a broken leg, and I picked this up because I'm gonna replace that broken leg. You don't have to tell them that you're carrying this because you're your own bodyguard and you're gonna defend yourself. Tell them whatever it is that they need to hear so they can say, oh, that's a good idea, right? They're not gonna say, well, you're gonna beat somebody with that. We'll say, why would I need to? Are you telling me it's not safe? It's not safe out there, Officer Bob, on the subway, on the streets of New York City? Is that what you're telling me? Or are you saying maybe I should carry something a little bit stronger, right? Anyway, don't worry about getting in trouble because you're carrying a stick. That's my point. Carry the stick, and if you need to, tell them whatever you think they need to hear. But you're carrying the stick for self-defense. It's your human right to defend yourself, even if the law doesn't protect you. While it's protecting the criminal, it's protecting the criminals, allowing them to hurt you, you're going to have to protect yourself. That's your human right. So from here, you're going to snap that in. You're going to bring this down on the bridge of the nose or into the teeth or into the throat, and then you're gonna come down straight on top of the head, get it in that other hand, and I want you to lift. And notice how much that moves it back. You're going to move this in and back, pull to your chest, and then with two hands, you're gonna smash right to his face, right to his nose. The question in self-defense is, what can you remove or destroy for self-defense? These are principles of self-defense. Technique's not important. From here, I snap it, right? I smash it. You're gonna swing it straight down, right on top of the head, or anything that you can hit along the way. Once you get it down, you get that other hand in it, and then you thrust. And then you push, and then I want you to punch with both hands. Because you're holding a stick, you've created leverage, you've doubled, tripled, quadrupled your power in self-defense. So from here, 1, smash is 2, 3 is sliding down, 4, stepping in, 5, stepping in, press the attack, close with and destroy. Violence of action for self-defense when you're hitting someone with a stick for self-defense. This is the short stick. Koreans call this a dongbong. They drill a little hole here, put in a cotton piece of string, and then it goes around your thumb so that you can whip it out and spin it around. I'll show you that one day, but I didn't want to start with the dongbong. I didn't want to start because I don't want to confuse you. You don't need to swing it around like a single nunchuck. Instead, you're going to use it to smash, to thrust, to push, to punch. Drive the elbows in. Use your elbows here. Bring it back out. Smash here. Slicing from the side. Just be vicious, be violent. When it comes to self-defense, you're defending yourself. It's more about the posture I want you to create in your own mind, visualizing yourself, using your imagination, that when someone pulls out a bladed weapon, a knife, a hatchet, a machete, or a gun, or anything, you don't have a choice. It's run, hide, fight. When you can run, run. When you can hide, hide. When you need to fight, pick up a stick. And again, it doesn't have to be a stick you're carrying, but this size here fits in a lot of places, right? Maybe it's in your jacket. If you're wearing workout clothes, it does look a little funny. And again, if someone asks you, why do you have that stick? You say, anything you want. This is, I have a very small closet. I live in the city. And in the closet, I made a little place to hang up some clothes. Yeah, Matthew says drumsticks. Yes, drumsticks are perfect. Good evening, Awkward the cat. Yeah, put it down the shirt. This is a curtain rod, right? You've got a small window. Get that little window over the door or in the kitchen or in the bathroom. You made a little thing for it. You got this at the hardware store because you said, I need a little curtain rod. And just say it with a straight face. And they say, really? You say, yeah. I didn't know what else to do. I'm not a handyman, or whatever you want. This is a drumstick. This is, you picked this up for your kid's project. He's got an art project at school. He said, Dad, can you pick me up a stick? I need it for my art project. I need to make a fake tree in my diorama. I don't care. Tell them whatever they need to hear. The point is, you're defending you. It's not for them, it's for you. It's your self-defense. If they were able to do their job because the environment allows, then you wouldn't have to carry the stick, right? We could go back to where we were 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, before all the madness of right now, where you felt a lot more safe, where you didn't turn on the TV every night and see report after report after report of innocent old people being shoved to the ground by some street thug who should be in jail, who's been arrested 20 times for violent assault in the last 10 days. That's a real statistic. These things are crazy. What's happening right now is crazy. Might not ever happen to you, but if you know how to fight with a stick, that gives you an option. All right, so from here, it's in practice with both hands. Become ambidextrous in self-defense. You're twisting. That twist makes it a harder, faster, explosive strike. The first one is more about distraction. You want to move them back, right? Move them back and then come straight in with the smash. From here, bring it down. Bring it through. Smash in here. Drive in your elbows or drive in your knuckles. Either way, when you drop in your elbow or drop in the stick, right in the solar plexus, and then get back. The second thing I want you to practice is a basic angle slicing, angle striking, starting here with the hands in front of you, coming from your shoulder. 1, 2, bring it up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So think of it this way. Make an X down. Make an X coming up. When you make an X coming up, turn your palm up. Turn your palm down when it comes across the body. And then horizontal. Palm up, palm down. And then vertical down with this smashing strike, and then a thrust. Think of right up into the solar plexus, into that thin muscle between right where the guts are, right? You're gonna give him a hernia between the belly button and the privates, or up into the throat, or up under the jaw, or right into the face. So again, from here, strike one, this sliding angle here, slicing angle here, turn the hand up 3, 4, coming through 5, 6, 7, 8, put it in the other hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 2 different combinations you can practice every day that will teach you how to hit somebody with a short stick for self-defense, starting with this turning of the wrist, turn of the wrist, smash in that face, bring it in, coming straight in, use this part here, bring that down here. Yeah, Awkward the Cat says, would the targets be shorter? Awkward the Cat, not only if you're shorter than they are, so Awkward the Cat says, if this is their head and you're not as tall, would you go for the ribs? Yes, there's no wrong answer. The right answer is, what can you remove or destroy? If you can't hit his face, don't hit his face. Don't go for the face. You can't smash him on top of the head, don't go for the head. But you can do a lot of damage right here, right in all this soft tissue here. From here, this whole big area here, right? Maybe it's the knees, maybe it's the legs, maybe it's right into the private parts. What if you're sitting in a chair? What if you're sitting on a bench? What if you're waiting for the bus? What if you're waiting for the subway? What if you're on the subway and you're sitting, minding your own business, and you happen to have your stick in your bag, or you have your stick in your backpack, or you have your book bag, or whatever it is, right? Or you have your stick down your shirt. You pull it out, but you're sitting. All of a sudden, he's standing. You're completely sitting. Trust me, most men or women, doesn't matter who it is, most people don't want that right into this part of the body. And I'm not even talking about the private parts. It's not about hitting their private parts. It's about hitting this it's a thin sheath of muscle that covers all your guts. When this gets cut or ripped, your guts stick out under your skin and it looks like a bunch of knuckles under there. If you've ever seen it, if you've ever had it, called a hernia. So now you're sitting there, you stick that in them 3 or 4 times, either thrusting here or jabbing here in the back, and then smashing those legs, right? Or maybe he's reaching down, he's on top of you. Another great way to use this part of the stick is to stick it right there in that forearm, right where those nerves are, right where muscles come together. Any part of the muscle, anywhere on the body where you push, stick the tip and push down or push in. You can do that in their ribs. You can do that in his chest. You can do that in the top of his chest. It doesn't even have to be the throat. You can get it in here and you dig that in, he's gonna feel it. If he's got his hands on you, you can put this over top here. And I don't have somebody to show you, but imagine that his arm is here. I'm gonna take my arm away to use it. But imagine the arm's there and you take it here and you just pull. You're pulling down on those nerves, that hurts. And he's going to probably collapse like this. Once you do that, smash him in the face. Once you pull him down to your size, smash him in the face and jab with it. The point is, don't hesitate to defend yourself. Don't hesitate to take action. You can learn how to fight with a stick for self-defense, and it can be, it's my favorite, right? This is such a silly weapon. People see this, except it's not. It's made out of bamboo. It's extremely strong, extremely durable. You can jab with it. But I understand why some people wouldn't want to carry it. They don't want to carry it because it looks silly to them. But if it doesn't look silly to you, and you don't mind carrying something like this, this is the most well-disguised self-defense tool, right? It's super, and I've got 5 or 6 of these. So if you need one, you need to find out where to get one, let me know. I teach this to the young people, and I teach this to people who want to know how to fight with a fan. But it's a very simple, and there's all the old style kung fu kind of cool stuff you can do, but you don't have to learn all the kung fu martial arts stuff. Learn how to just smash with it, and jab with it, and strike with it, because it's a stick. When it's closed, it's a stick. And there are things you can do when it's open, and yeah, they do have some that come with a knife on them, although those are real gimmicky. I wouldn't waste the money on that. Or using a magazine. This is where we started. I said you can find any magazine, like a throwaway magazine. Always start from the opening side, the side that opens. And I didn't have a magazine, so I messed up my son's Special Forces coloring book. But we go up to the Navy SEAL Museum. I get him another one. So from here, you just roll it very tightly. You always put it against your chest so that you can get it as tightly as you can when they roll up. Yeah, they make metal versions of the fan. If you get the metal version of the fan, you just wasted your money. I'm just gonna tell you right now, they're too heavy. When you start to use them, then the spines start to separate from the canvas or whatever that cheap material is. They're not made well. And you'll chop your fingers up with them. Get the bamboo. These are much nicer. I used to have tons of the metal ones. People like the metal because they can make it sound louder, but the metals are garbage. Unless you get an old-fashioned Tesson. The Tesson is the Japanese version from the Sneaky Ninja. Not really just the ninja. But the samurai would carry a Tesson, a local official would carry a Tesson, and it's a thin metal. It looks more like piped metal or rolled metal, not the flat metal like the Kung Fu fan. But if you want to get a Kung Fu style, the Chinese style, or Korean style, go for bamboo or rattan. That's the material. That's a grass, not wood. And then if you get the other kind, if you wanted the Japanese version, those will be more expensive if you can find an authentic one. All right, this is it's just the magazine. The key is you have to hold it tight. Make sure a little bit's there. You're gonna put this right into his nose, or from here, right into his stomach, right? His throat. Maybe he's behind you. You can see me in the mirror. He sneaks up behind you. You turn around, smash. Stick that right into his midsection, his stomach, his solar plexus. Back into that part between the belly button and the privates. Or if he's behind you, one of the best ways to knock somebody out is always with an elbow. You can turn and hit him with that. You can hit him with the elbow and then hit him with that. Hit him with both, right? Smash and then extend. Break his jaw here, stick that in his temple. It's all for self-defense, right? He shouldn't be on the streets. You have to protect yourself, so do what it takes. Using this, you can do all of those angles that we did coming through, you do all of the thrusting motions, and it's very effective. Just don't let it go. And if it comes unraveled, roll it up again. But this is very effective. Any kind of magazine, you can find them anywhere. The point that I want to make to you is that if you learn how to defend yourself with a stick using these simple techniques I've showed you, I want to review them one more time. Rolling your wrist right to the face, right to the temple. That's very distracting. Notice this hand is here to stop it so I can smack him, pop, 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 2 or 3 times, and then smashing in here. Your other hand is always up. This is up to support this. If he comes to try to collapse into or hug you, bear hug you, or rip it away from you, your other hand is here. You can stop him, keep him back. You can drive an elbow. You can drive the elbow down on top of his head. You can drive the elbow here, get the other hand on your stick, and you can fight. So always have this hand here, smack him here 2 or 3 times, smash into his bridge of his nose, separate it, or his teeth. Or like I said, if you're sitting down in a chair, go into his private parts, and then swing this down on top of the head, grab the other hand, thrust up and through his body. And then 2-hand striking right into his throat, right into his face. And then either drive the elbows or punch with your fists. Because you're holding this, you have more leverage. You're gonna hit harder. And then drop down and either drive the elbow or drive that stick through him. The second set of techniques, slicing down. 1, always coming from the shoulder. 1, 2, turn the palm up. 3, 4. Notice your other hand is always going to be up. 5, 6. This other hand is always here in case you have to flinch block. Guard yourself from behind this while you're striking with this. And then put that helmet on. You can drive with this elbow into his face, down on top of his nose, through his jaw. But always keep the other hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then thrust. Coming up and through, and get in the other hand and practice over and over again. Practice both hands every day, just 5 minutes a day. And then when you're out and about, maybe you carry this. You don't have to. Hello, Doug. Yeah, Doug says, tell him it's leftover material from a construction project. The question, what Doug's talking about, what I was telling you earlier, is don't worry about someone asking you someone being the police, why are you carrying that short stick? You just tell them I found it. It looked really cool. I don't know. I like to twirl through my fingers. I'm a drummer. I do physical therapy. I have arthritic wrists and elbows. And the therapist said, get a stick to twirl through your fingers. I don't know. Tell them that you wanted to make stronger forearms. So you pick this up at the store. You're going to attach a rope with a weight on the bottom and roll it up. Whatever you want. Tell them whatever you want. There's no wrong answer. Just don't say you're carrying it to smack someone in the face with if you, law enforcement, can't protect me. And again, I'm not blaming the police officers. Between the defund the police from the left and all of the liberal policies from George Soros and the like, whatever, you can Google it. It's all true. I don't know if it's true or not. Anyway, do your own research. Don't listen to me. But for whatever reason, crime is exploding. Defend yourself in case you come across one of those criminals who has been arrested and released. Today, 5 minutes ago, he just got arrested for beating up a 73-year-old woman, and now he's out on the street 10 minutes later. That's happening. So if that's the case, learn how to defend yourself using a stick. And then, once you learn how to fight with a stick, you don't have to have this with you. You can find sticks almost anywhere. I took the trash out a minute ago, and I was looking around the dumpster. I found 7 options, 7 different options. There was a broom handle, there was a mop handle, both broken. There was a rod from a window, one of those things you twist like this. And is it as strong as this? No. Can you smack it in someone's face? Yes. Can you keep someone back with it? Is it better than trying to stop somebody with your hands? Yeah. There are a lot of great options out there. There was a screwdriver. I don't know why it was out there, but it was stuck in the dirt. But it's about this long. There's a whole bunch of more stuff you can do with a screwdriver. We'll make that video one day. But this is probably the easiest. Remember what I said, it's the most ancient self-defense tool. It goes hands and feet, teeth, head, butt, self-defense, right? Twisting, choking, self-defense. And then after that, the next level, ancient, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years of man's self-defense, stick, rock, club. Stick, rock, club. This is your stick. Learn how to fight with a stick. And then you'll always have a stick around, and you'll always have options to defend yourself, how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense, using the short stick for self-defense, because it's your human right. And if someone else won't protect you, be your own bodyguard. And hopefully, ideally, you'll never use it. You'll never need it, but you'll have extra confidence, and you'll train your brain. You'll have extra youthfulness in your brain because you learned something new. You guys have been awesome. I will see you in just a little bit. We're gonna make another one today on how to hit somebody with a stick, but we're going in the opposite direction. We're gonna go for the long martial arts stick. I'll see you guys in a little bit.